So let me be the first to tell you guys that I cannot rationalize in my mind. I mean, I can, but it's like, how in the world? Well, I mean, it's called a 5-6 year investigation. That's how they did it. But still, just the correspondence to what's going on with the situation with the chosen ones. I can't believe this. It's like a whole nother world has been put into place, and I'm not even sure if 90% of the population is even aware of that. People still going around doing what they do. This is a narration, guys. I be wanting to say a lot to you guys, but I only can say so much. I can't say everything I want to say. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. Maybe one day I'll have a platform for that specifically, but I just can't. I'm very shocked at the correspondence of the chosen ones and people being recognized for, the abuse that they've been going through. I told you guys, I still try to figure out what's important. It appears to me this whole life is a test because you get put in situations that you didn't ask for. You just get put somewhere and then somebody talks about you learning a lesson. You like, what the hell? I was just put here. As far as you know, I didn't ask to be put here. This is why a lot of people have questions about whether they believe in karma or not. Bobby Hemmett don't believe in karma. Joseph Chapelon says, what's the point of karma if you can't even remember what lifetime you had before, but somebody else supposed to come along with some tarot cards or something, or some other kind of divination to and tell you what's going on with your life. Joseph Chapelon doesn't like that. We're going to touch upon that later, though, because this is just a narration video. See how many time I got left? Yeah. This is just a narration video. We ain't going to get into that right now. But you got some people out there that don't believe in karma because they're like, well, what's the point if you can't even remember what the hell you did? Let's say you did something wrong. You can't even remember what you did wrong. So how the hell are you supposed to expect to correct it? I mean, I guess you're supposed to remember on a soul level. But this whole life seemed like a test to me because as far as I know, most of us don't remember how the hell we got here. I don't, in a lot of situations in my life I was just put there. And then next thing you know, somebody's like, well, you had to learn a lesson. It would have been different if I had a chose. I didn't have a choice. A choice to me is not learning a lesson. It's God doing what he do. Now, it seems to me a lot of these narcissists come from lower levels of hell that's been let out to come play around with people that's actually more righteous than them. Meanwhile, the righteous people have lessons they had to learn. Perhaps we did choose to do this, knowing that we was going to come out on top anyway. Yeah, I could see that. But these people, these narcissists who do what they do, these people, we're not cut from the same cloth, obviously. Because I can't understand what they do. They can't understand what we do. We can't understand what they do. They don't understand what we do. I don't understand how you can just wake up in your day and do evil to people and then play the victim when the spotlight flat. Like, where do these people even come from? It can't come from where I come from. It don't make no damn sense. And lately with me, it's getting kind of dangerous because when you become intuitive and you spot these motherfuckers out, well, first of all, they kind of intuitive too, the narcissists, because the narcissists spot out that you spot out that they're a narcissist. So a lot of times they're going to be hiding behind either a camera. That's why they like all this surveillance, so the narcissists can hide. They try to lure you into traps so they can put you on camera and all this stuff. A narcissist would never come directly face to face without no cameras around. No, you can't underestimate them. They smart, but they wouldn't dare mess with an intuitive individual who's an empath. I don't even like to call it empath. They wouldn't dare mess with a real motherfucker in public with no cameras and no none of their group members around. They wouldn't dare. They would run and hide from you. I've seen it all my life. Even before I woke up and knew who I was, they were still running from me. But let's go ahead and get started with this narration.
Chosen ones listened closely. It took a whole crowd to try and tear down what was meant to stand strong. And even then, they couldn't do it. Just think about that for a second. A whole town, the same folks who usually argue over the smallest things like where to eat suddenly agree on one thing, bringing you down. They didn't come together to do anything good. Not for peace, not for growth.
Like I said, they're doing spell work on each other right now as we speak.
Not even for themselves. They joined forces out of fear, out of jealousy, out of a desperate need to see you fall. But here's what they didn't see coming. When the whole town turns against one person, that person becomes unshakable.
You know, guys, me having a wife and children, I like to get up one day and I like to have my wife look at me like somebody almost like a superhero. You know, I can't think of any way but to be a husband that my wife and my children look at me like some kind of superhero, not somebody that needs to group up and come after one person. I mean, I just don't understand. But that goes back into what I said at the beginning. We're not cut from the same cloth. I like that. I like the Heru energy. You know, I like a woman and my children look at me like, yo, dad's really a superhero. Not dad is a big dad is big and bad because he need 100 motherfuckers to go out to one dude. Get the fuck out of here,
Because
man.
now they're not just dealing with you. They're dealing with everything that's been backing you this whole time. It's kind of funny when you think about it. So many of them, only one of you. And yet they're the ones falling apart. That's not random. That's how real energy works. Energy doesn't lie. When a whole group focuses their hate on you and still can't win, that's not just failure. That's proof of who you really are. There's actually a term for what they did. It's called collective narcissism. It's when a bunch of people all believe they're better than everyone else, but the moment someone in their group doesn't shrink, doesn't lower themselves just to fit in,
Pathetic,
they feel
man.
threatened.
Just pathetic.
That's what happened with you. You didn't shrink. You didn't play small, so they panicked. You became the reminder they didn't want to face. So they did everything to make you disappear, to cancel you, to wipe you out.
The thing y'all already know that pisses me off, that people pleaser word, because look, people pleaser. You know, I got called a people pleaser, or I got put into that category. Why? Because I'm trying to keep the police. It's called not having a criminal record. That's what people pleasing is. In my case, in my mind, it is because I can't tell y'all what my dark side is on YouTube. The video wouldn't upload. Okay. I just have to find out who everybody was piece by piece, man. I couldn't come in here turning over tables. I had to find out who was who. And now I just come to the point with people where I'm just fine to myself, man. Hopefully I can find a wife who's down with me and and I wouldn't say my program, but we're down with our program, and we can just keep it, you know, tight, because these people out here, and it gets worse and worse, guys. Year by year, the Bible told you this. People are not going to get any better, man. As inflation happens and people losing their homes and all this type of stuff, it's not going to get any better on that level. Financially or health-wise either, which is your real wealth is your health. Nah, they're not looking healthy out here, that's for sure.
But what happens when the person they tried to bury starts growing anyway? That's what you did. You kept growing. You didn't fold. And Chosen One, thank you for doing that, for staying strong. And if you feel like this message speaks to something inside you, go ahead and pass it on. Press the like button. You weren't the villain. You were just the reflection. You showed them what they hated about themselves, the truth that they were too scared to look at. The universe doesn't choose the loudest.
To be honest with y'all guys, man, I'll be straight honest with y'all guys. This shit is getting boring, man. Like, for real. Like, it's just getting. These people must come from a lower dimension. They just come up here just to play with us, man. And it's really a very childish game. But all I can guess is that these motherfuckers come from a lower level, and they're let up out of the pit, whatever the hell they come from, just to see if they can pass some kind of test. Well, most of the people in my circle failed.
Connected or the most liked.
Cause I don't behave like this where I come from.
The ones who hold on to truth even when it costs them everything. That's why it picked you. They thought their little squad meant they had power, but numbers without purpose is just noise. And they were noisy.
I'm telling y'all, man, I cannot be part of a group, guys. I thought about it when I was growing up. Should I be part of a group? Is that going to make me stronger? Maybe it can be my group versus another group. What makes me strong, what makes me sleep at night, what makes me feel like a man, what makes me feel like a man when I step to a woman and just feel proud is when I can deal with this world by myself. Because guess what? When you die, your group ain't coming with you. So you might as well get used to being by yourself now. I look in the mirror. I already told y'all, when I look in the mirror, I see a soldier. I see a superhero. I see the character that a woman should be proud to be with. I couldn't feel that way if I was part of no damn group.
So loud they couldn't even hear the cracks in their own plan. One by one, their alliances started breaking apart. Friends turned into enemies. Their lies started going in circles. The same town that tried to push you out is now falling apart from the inside. They still don't get it. They thought this was all about you, that you were the problem. But no, you were the test. And they failed big time. The moment you showed up, the universe started watching. And what it saw was a town that couldn't handle a chosen one in their space. They tried to plant you in the dirt, not knowing you were a seed. And now you're growing stronger than ever, smarter, solid. And the fact that you're still here, that's what eats them alive. After everything they tried, the lies, the games, the isolation, you're not just surviving, you're rising. They had the numbers, you had the mission. They had gossip, you had facts, they had fake control, you had real alignment. No matter what they threw at you, not one of them could stop what was already meant to happen. They couldn't beat you, not because they weren't strong enough, but because you were never something they had power over to begin with. So chosen one, the question now is, are you ready to see how deep this betrayal really went and how powerful it made you become? Because if they couldn't break you at your worst, imagine what's coming now that you're stepping into your power. And hey, if this message hits home, type 77 in the comments.
Be honest with you guys, I see the way people look at me when I walk into a room. But it's always been that way for me, guys. Guys, in my mind, I want people to know that in my mind, I'm the same person that I've been for a very long time. It's just that I've been awakened to what's going on. But as far as the strength and the determination and the drive to be that dude, that nigga, whatever you want to call it, in my mind, I've been that way since I was a little boy. It's just that people didn't see it. I knew it, though. I knew it. Nobody else had to know it. I mean, you can't just say, "Oh, I just became this way because of the trials and tribulations." No, I was born this way, man. I was born this way. It was already encoded in my DNA. Okay? It was a reason I was the only one in high school dunking a basketball at 5'10". There's a reason for that. Because other guys get in shape, they couldn't do it. There's a reason Michael Jordan is the best damn basketball player out there, and everybody else working out, going to workouts like he working out, going through the seasons, meeting with the same, they can use the same trainer Michael Jordan used, eat the same food, and they still ain't Michael Jordan. Now, how can you explain that? That's why I don't believe in equality. It's the differences you need to accept. We need to accept.
Comments. That's your sign that you're done hiding, done playing small. This is your time. And if this message means something to you,
it's just that now I'm given a platform. I've always been this way, guys, in my mind. Regardless of what the world thought about me, I've always been that dude in my mind, regardless of who was laughing at me or whatever. And half of the people who was laughing at me knew I was that dude. It's just that they wasn't that dude. So they decided to be jealous and go along with all the suckers who was talking shit. I'm telling you, half them motherfuckers knew I was that dude. Now some of them gonna sit back, they thinking about trying to come back and apologize. But you know what? They've already entrapped themselves. Ain't no coming back from it, guys. They've already entrapped themselves. They in too deep. They got too many people involved, and they too cowardly to turn against the group.
and you feel like being part of the mission, whether it's with a kind word or anything else, know that every bit helps bring this truth to more people who need to hear it. This isn't just a video, it's a movement, and you're already in it.
Yeah.
All right, let's really break this down.
Let me see, I'm gonna go ahead.
Still here.
We're about to hit the 15 minutes, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out right here. But I just want to reiterate, I've always been that nigga in my mind, despite what anybody have thought about me. And obviously they knew I was that nigga too, because it wouldn't take 100 motherfuckers to come out to one dude if they didn't know that motherfucker. That's that nigga. I'm out, y'all.